Hey there, spooky friends, and welcome to another episode of the Scaryish podcast.
Woo.
I'm Robin Grace. This is Adam Diaz, and that was adorable.
Was it?
Yeah.
Good to know.
We are a podcast that talks about weird, scary-ish stuff. This week is a true crime week because true crime is my jam. And if you're new around here, you'll pick up on that once you go through our extensive episode log. Adam had to scroll through a bunch of stuff the other day, and you were just like clicking through window after window or something like that. It's
funny because like we have to check and see whether or not we've covered something before. Because, after 297 episodes, don't quite remember all the topics that we've covered. So I used to be able to just go Spotify-Scaryish, and it would bring up our Spotify page, and I could just scroll through it. And now you have to click something that says like more episodes, and you have to click it like 90 fucking times to get the full list to pop up rather than just like constantly scrolling down. It took forever. But yeah, we haven't covered this one. I hope not. So pretty excited for it. I have no idea what it's about except that it's true crime because you just said that.
Yeah.
It's also been like a couple weeks since we were on the air.
Yes, we had Comic-Con last week. So we were incredibly exhausted coming off of that.
We didn't go as hard this year as we went last year. We didn't do full 5 days.
Yeah.
Didn't do preview nights. We came home a little bit earlier than we were coming home last year.
We're getting to that age where our bodies just can't anymore.
I think we can. We just know better. It's like,
why
do you
punish
want to
yourself?
Do you want to push an extra 4 to 6 hours for an event that you're going to walk in, see a poster or two of something that you like, and then be like, oh yeah, that was cool.
My friend did get to see a lot of cool stuff that I wish I had seen. Like there was a whole Genshin hall meeting room thing that had a bunch of Genshin stuff, and
that is pretty cool.
You got like a free Genshin bag, and I was like, damn it, I wish I had done that.
We didn't get into Hall H. I know I've been asked that a couple of times. Like, oh, did you see Robert Downey Jr.? No.
No.
Didn't see any celebrities except for, in my case, I did see Jamie Lee Curtis from about 20 feet away.
Oh, yeah?
Which was pretty cool. She was on the IMDb boat, which is like in that little dock harbor area. And she was on the back of it taking pictures. And there was this massive line of people waiting to get into the Hulu thing. And she was just waving at everyone, being super sweet. She looks exactly like she does in the movies. So she radiates stardom. I was just God damn, that's Jamie Lee Curtis.
I saw that polka dot dude from Suicide Squad.
I don't know his name either.
He's from, Dark Knight?
He is from Dark Knight. He's the mental patient that Harvey captures and takes to do the coin flipper and I'll blow your head off to interrogate him technique. Yeah. And he's also the Baba Yaga guy from Ant-Man. So, yeah, he's been in a lot. He's been in a lot of comic book movies, and we don't know his name, and it's shameful of us.
It is shameful of us.
Yeah, he walked by her, and she was like, that's that guy. So, yeah, not a whole lot of brushing with celebs. I will say the most disappointing thing of Comic-Con, the Winchester bar recreation. It's a Shaun of the Dead 20th anniversary celebration where they took some place and turned it into the Winchester bar.
I was so excited. Shaun of the Dead is one of my favorite movies, and we get there, they're out of absolutely everything.
They're not serving any booze. They made us show our IDs and get a bracelet to walk into a place with no fucking air conditioning.
And we get there and it's just miserable.
And there's nothing they're giving you. It's like not a big room.
We literally walked in
and walked
out. It was so bad. And I worked so hard to get those tickets. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Coolest thing was probably Paramount Plus, I guess.
I didn't go.
You didn't get to go? You decided to work on Thursday rather than hang out with all of us.
But it worked out because you could only get 3 tickets anyway.
Yeah, we only wound up getting 3 tickets. So it wasn't as cool as last year. Paramount Plus is an off-site thing, so it's not at the convention center. And you go in there, there's like 3 different areas within this much larger space that's supposedly dedicated to different things that Paramount produces. So there was something for Ghosts. There was something for...
SpongeBob?
SpongeBob, I do think, had a presence like last year. There was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was serving pizza, which was cool. And there was one thing for that Ryan Reynolds movie that has the big purple fluffy guy.
If,
I think that's what it is. I don't know what it was. I didn't check that out. The ghost thing was cool. They let you smell what all the ghosts smelled like. And they're like really rank perfumes for a few of them where it's like, that's fucking gross.
It's because when you walk through him, you just smell nasty fart smell.
Him being who?
The Boy Scout.
Pete?
Yeah.
I thought it was Isaac. I can't remember. No, Pete smelled like pine, for sure. Pete smelled good. So Pete smelled like an air freshener that you would get from a car wash.
Okay.
That's in the shape of like a pine tree. But anywho, yeah, that was Comic-Con. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So outside of that, not a whole lot going on with this. Lots of work. I got the new job I'm doing, so that's been fun. Learning on the job. It's good stuff.
I mean, all jobs are learning on the job. So
yeah. Some of them have like 3-week training courses like I had at a different place. And this one, like I had a 1-hour introduction and a pretty quick deck of like 35 slides. They're like, cool, that's the company. Go do your job.
Nice.
So I was like, all right, let me go figure this out. And I am figuring it out slowly but surely. I only feel slightly horrified that I don't know what I'm doing instead of completely horrified. So I'm making progress. So that's good.
Nice.
How about you? How's work? Is work good?
It's good. It's work.
Right on.
We all get through it.
Exciting.
I'm more excited about just,
traveling to Italy at the end of this month?
Yes!
Yeah, me too. We're going on a vacation. We don't know what's going to happen with content. I don't think we're going to leave you folks without an episode for like 4 weeks, but we got to figure something out.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a little special episode 300 thing for you guys.
Coming up.
So we'll think of some fun stuff that hopefully you'll find entertaining, and if not, then
fuck you.
No.
Will you just give the podcast to someone for like a week while we're gone? That would be funny.
You're like, what are you gonna post? No. So yeah, we'll be gone for a while, but we're not gonna let you guys we're not gonna leave you hanging. We'll make some stuff so you'll have stuff in the meantime. But yeah, I'm excited. Lots of traveling to finish out this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys don't want to hear about that. You guys want to hear you
Lots
want to
of
hear
folks
about
say they like to hear about like what's going on with us before we get into the super interesting topics.
I just feel bad when it's like it's almost 10 minutes. We're almost 10 minutes in.
1, it's 8 minutes. 2, at least half of that's going to get edited out. So don't worry about that.
Okay. So I find true crime fascinating. I don't hold any of these killers or serial killers. I don't look at them and go like, oh my God, they're so cool. No, I just find it absolutely fascinating the way these killers, these criminals do these things, why they do these things. It's interesting.
It's morbidly fascinating.
I know there's a lot of memes out there where people, it's like you sitting at home on your couch eating snacks or whatever late at night watching a true crime documentary, and you watch them fuck up or whatever, you're like, fucking idiot, like you're just
oh yeah
like
he didn't realize he left one hair at the scene which exposed his DNA. It's like moron.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I am just a
tangent
crazy
machine.
Yes, but it's funny because sometimes a coworker or somebody will say like, this is how you cover up a body or something. If you kill somebody and you bury them, then you do this. And it's so funny because we all love true crime.
I know 2 ways to cover up a body that I got from social media that I'm like, those are pretty clever.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Do you have any?
Our friend always says to plant like a rare species
endangered
of plant.
species of plants so they can't dig it up.
Yeah.
I like that idea. That is one of mine. The other one that I think is smart is to dig a hole, fill it in, call in a tip that there's a dead body in that area, wait for the police to go find it, and dig it up and find it empty.
Dude!
Once they dig it up and find it empty and leave, then you go back and you fill it in.
What the
Because why would they go look in the same place twice? It's popular enough of a meme where there might be a cop out there who's on like, Instagram or TikTok. It's like, maybe we should check that first hole again. But I was like, that's pretty fucking clever.
All right. Interesting.
You're welcome, everyone. Please don't do murder.
Yeah, please don't do murder. Anyway, so continuing on, not that I've actually gotten into anything here. I enjoy true crime that may or may not inspire horror movies that we watch or we enjoy and things like that. And if a particular crime has something to do with those things, it's more likely to pull me in to want to read about it or learn about it or things like that. I know we've covered quite a few different true crime topics that a few different movies have been based on, or like American Horror Story, right? American Horror Story has like all these little ties to different killers and stuff like that.
Especially that hotel season.
Oh, bro.
They have all of them in that hotel season.
I think that the carnival season had John Wayne Gacy in there. I think it had a little bit of the Ed Gein vibes in there because somebody ends up putting like someone else's skin on their face.
Gross.
I think as a mask.
Silence.
I don't remember. So this week, I'm going to be covering An American Murderer. That is often said to be the inspiration behind the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, despite that being an inaccurate statement. It is inaccurate to a point because the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies are based on a bunch of different types of crime, incidents of crime. But this particular crime we're going to be talking about today is about Robert Elmer Kleasen, and he was born September 20th, 1934. So
Do you think anyone out there freaks out when they share a birthday with one of these monster human beings?
Maybe. I don't know. I am not the type of person to think that your birthday has anything to do with the type of person you are. So I guess it just kind of depends on what you believe in. But this guy was born in Buffalo, New York in 1934. So this is quite a long time ago. It's been 90 years, right? Is that good math?
1934, yeah.
Oh my God. He is a Virgo.
Wow.
I don't know what that means.
I don't think it has anything to do with your birthday. And then you jump into the fucking zodiac sign.
I don't know what that means. One of my friends growing up was a Virgo. So, well, she is a Virgo still. I don't think that goes away.
Birthday, yeah.
But, yeah, and she was really cool. So I don't think it really has anything to do with, your birthday or anything like that. I just think you are what you make yourself.
Yeah, I'm going through my head right now and thinking of all the friends I grew up with and what their signs are, if I know it. I know a lot
of them are the same as you.
Oh, yeah. I have a ton of Taurus friends. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Most people can be good people regardless of whatever sign you are. Except Geminis. Geminis fucking suck.
My sister's a Gemini, isn't she?
My best friend's a Gemini. Lee's a Gemini. A bunch of our listeners are also Geminis. And those listeners in particular are the ones who watch our live streams and talk a bunch of shit to me for being a Taurus. Like it matters. So I'm just saying, fuck you guys.
I'm a Scorpio, okay? And I think the description, I think, though, accurate. For me, how Scorpios can hold a grudge and things like that.
Yeah.
I think that's very accurate. I am very nice most of the time, but I can hold a grudge. And Adam knows I can hold a grudge. I've held out for days.
Maybe for our 300th episode, we'll just go through all 12 zodiac signs and just be like, yeah, I can see that.
Or that's like a bonus Patreon thing. Like, let's talk about the zodiac.
I will literally go through all 12 and just say the phrase, yeah, I can see that.
Anyway, so he was an only child. His father actually suffered from a mental illness. I'm not sure which one that was or exactly, but they shared a passion for guns and hunting. So his childhood was very particular. He's dealing with a lot of things. He shares this one thing with his dad, and I'm sure that's what a lot of him growing up was. In 1950, when he was 16, there was an incident where his mother had to end up taking him to the hospital after he stepped on a rusty nail while hunting in the woods.
Oof.
He was incredibly impatient while they were waiting for a doctor to see him, so he hits his mom, I assume out of frustration, then goes out to their car and grabs a gun. He's only 16 at this point.
What the fuck? Okay? That's a lot of giant red flags.
Yeah, so...
You say you assume out of frustration. If I were to hit my mom, it would be out of a suicidal tendency because she would fucking murder me.
I've never hit my mom.
You saying that made me be like, ooh, this guy's about to die, huh?
Yeah, I can't even imagine hitting my mom. Maybe when I was a baby and I didn't even know it, but as soon as my brain could process, maybe you shouldn't do that kind of stuff.
As soon as my brain could process fear.
Yeah.
That's when the idea of hitting either of my parents went out the door.
The idea of hitting any of my parents is just so stressful because all I can think of is the repercussion because you're going to get beat. Worse, So
that's a huge red flag, being 16 and hitting your parent and then storming to the car to get the gun.
So he goes to the car, grabs a gun. He comes back into the emergency room and starts shooting.
What the fuck?
So luckily, no one was hurt from that incident, but it was obviously a very vicious, violent attack at this hospital. So this lands him in a psychiatric facility for a couple of years. So he ends up in a psychiatric facility for a few years, and he gets released in 1952. I don't know what they did to, I don't know, rehabilitate him and get him well enough to set him free on the world. But to go into a hospital and do that is mind-blowing to me.
I don't know. I imagine they spent those 2 years figuring out why he would have that reaction and teaching him coping techniques. This is 1950s. They could have just electrocuted him repeatedly.
That's true.
And then let him out. But I imagine today they would try and get to the source or the root of where that decision came from and give him the tools to prevent something like that from happening in the future until they felt like he was committed to living a different life and not doing that. Otherwise, why would you let him out?
Yeah, it's just absolutely mind-blowing. In 1971, just a year after having obtained his degree in sociology, so when he got his degree, he shoots a man named Dennis Dubois during an argument in Williamson, New York. He jumps bail and moves to Texas.
Okay. This guy has problems.
This guy has problems.
This is probably a stupid question to ask, but do you know what the argument was about?
No, I don't.
Probably a controversial topic like cake or pie or putting pineapple on pizza.
Maybe he just got frustrated. You never know.
Maybe the guy mentioned being in a hospital waiting room.
Yeah.
He's like, not again.
Maybe he had to wait too long for a sandwich at a shop. Who knows? Upon his arrival in Austin, Texas, he creates this new persona. He creates different aliases, different identities. So different people that he meets, he tells them different things. And
it's like trying out different things to see which one he likes best.
It's just a lot of made up facts or fake history. I think he just wanted to make himself out to be more important than he was. So he would tell people that he was a former CIA operative or that he was a war veteran, things like that.
Delusions of grandeur, stuff like that.
And it's suspected that he may have suffered from dissociative identity disorder. A lot of us may know that as multiple personality disorder. People that kind of studied him thought some of these people he was talking about were different identities in his mind.
Wow.
You know?
That's fascinating to think about who would be able to diagnose someone who's just a pathological liar who has like different personas based off of who they're around.
Yeah.
And who are actually shifting in and out of like different
people
mindsets within their own brain.
Yeah. There's some movie that is about a person who has
Split?
Is it? No, it's not Split. It's maybe it is. No, Split's too recent. It takes place in like a hotel, I think. John Cusack is in it.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about, and you're spoiling it by saying that too.
Oh, okay. My bad. It's old, though. If you haven't seen it by now...
Yeah, it's old. I was probably like 20 when it came out. But yeah, it's old.
Do you want to know? That's 20 years ago.
Yeah. Fuck you, bro. Ow.
I mean, okay. But if you haven't seen it by now, I'm sorry if I spoiled it for you.
Is that what it's called? I'm about to look it up, so I'm taking a stab in the dark to see if I remember. I'm going to give you one stab while I look it up, too. You better hurry up. My fingers are going fast.
I'm trying to think of what is vacancy?
I know it's not 1408. That's another
movie.
No,
that's a different horror movie, yeah.
It's Identity. I fucking called it. It's totally Identity.
I'm impressed.
Damn it, that ruined my joke. I was going to go, it's Hot Tub Time Machine, and you were going to laugh. But instead, I had to brag about the fact that I was right. My stupid ego getting in the way of the laughs. Anyways... So this guy is Identity. That's what you're saying. This guy is John Cusack.
Well, no. The main guy with all the identities is not John Cusack.
Why are you ruining the movie for everyone?
Okay, anyway, okay. This guy lives in an identity movie. So this guy jumps bail, moves to Texas. When he gets to Texas, he's this new person, creating a new life for himself. It's suspected, he's a little off. And while in Texas, he gets baptized into a local sect of the LDS/Mormon Church. In December of 1973, he gets arrested for the theft of bison.
Bison?
I don't know.
The meat or the actual living animal?
It has to be meat, right?
Bison are huge. How would you even accomplish stealing one?
There's no way.
If you are able to steal a bison, I'm pretty sure that's your bison now. Because that thing made a decision to go with you.
Maybe it's farmland. This is Texas. Maybe it's farmland.
Oh, like they were grazing and he just walled them off or something?
Yes. He was like, come on over.
Come on over, baby.
And so maybe that's what happened. But the church doesn't send a lawyer to help him with his situation. And so he gets pissed at the church. And the more he did things like this, like weird, borderline inappropriate things. I mean, it is inappropriate. Don't go stealing people's bison. But the more he does
that old TLC song.
No,
it's late, guys. I don't know if you noticed. Like, it's fucking almost midnight. And we're sleepy boys.
The more he did things like this, church grew more and more uneasy with him, more uncomfortable with him. And Kleasen lived in this trailer behind a taxidermist shop on the southwestern outskirts of Austin, where he worked. Apparently, this was after his third divorce, and his third wife left him after having found him in the bath with the body of a deer that he had killed and disemboweled.
Okay, yeah. These are some red flags. I'm curious what ended his previous 2 marriages.
Yeah, I'm curious too. Couldn't find anything on that, but
I'd also like to point out to anyone who's currently single, there's obviously someone for everybody.
There's someone for everyone.
Because this guy found 3 wives, 3 women who were like, yeah, I'll marry that guy, and then left him later. But yeah, plenty of fish in the sea is what I'm saying.
Well, I didn't see anything about the first 2 wives, so they could be not alive. Who knows?
You think he unalived them?
Maybe. There were 2 Mormon missionaries that routinely visited Kleasen. Gary Darley, who was 20, and Mark Fisher, who was 19. They'd been warned by their bishop not to visit him, that they should avoid him, and that they should stop visits. Stubborn people can be stubborn, though. They're going to do what they're going to do. I mean, they're young, 20 and 19. They're still at that age. Yeah, that age where they're going to make their own decisions despite what any of the, people around them are saying. So they decide to visit him one last time. And Kleasen invites them over to have some venison. And how can you say no to venison, It's pretty... Yeah. Have you ever had any?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're from the Midwest. Of course you have.
Yeah. Venison jerky, some of the best jerky you'll ever have.
Summer sausage.
Assuming they didn't bathe with it prior to dehydrating it.
Summer sausage. I think my friend, who happens to be a Virgo, when we were in middle school, she brought in some like venison meatballs. And they were so stinking good.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, holy crap, these are
You gotta
really
know
good.
how to cook venison if you're going to cook it and not dehydrate it, because it has that gamey taste to it a little bit.
Yeah, I think... I don't know what happened. We had a bunch of boar in our freezer.
It's still there, bro.
Oh, we have boar in our freezer still?
Wild boar in our freezer.
We should learn to.
Isn't it weird? Just pause. We're going to tangent this for 1 second. Isn't it weird that some animals have a flavor that's described as quote unquote gamey?
Like rabbit, yeah.
It's so funny to me because it's like you see the billboards of all the animals, like, where do you draw the line? Because it's like dog, cat, horse. And then it gets like, horse, chicken, cow. It's like, put all the animals up there and I'll show you where I draw the fucking line. And it's going to be when you get to stuff that's called gamey, that's too hard to cook. And that line's dotted. Because, like, if you know how to cook it, I'll probably eat it.
Yeah. I mean, if it's done well, like, if the Voltaggios were like...
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'm going to make this for you. I'm going to be like, yes, Brian, put it in my mouth.
What the fuck? She would say that before the food arrived.
Shut up, you're stupid. Anyway. Okay.
Scorpios, am I right?
Anyway, October 28th, 1974, it's the last day that those 2 are ever seen again. Right before Halloween, too. What are the odds? Spooky.
I would say 1 in 365 are the odds. That's just me.
I mean, no, but like, really, what are the odds that somebody would kill someone like right before Halloween? Especially like...
I'm going to stick with my number.
There's more. It's going to be less than that, obviously. Anyway, upon investigation, police theorized that they had gone to visit him and were met with the end of one of his guns. They found Fisher's bloody watch and a bullet-punctured name tag in Kleasen's trailer.
Shot him through the name tag. That's kind of fucked up.
I sent you a picture of
him wearing a name tag.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at it right now.
So imagine, getting shot. We'll post it on Instagram so you guys can see it, but
it's not him shot. It's just him standing there wearing a name tag.
But it's where he would have been shot, because you can see the name tag there. So imagine if you have a bullet punctured name tag, it's
morbid as fuck.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no bodies were found. They found the watch, they found the name tag, no bodies. They did, however, find blood and tissue on a band saw in the taxidermy shop that he worked at.
Oh, no.
At the time, they couldn't determine who it was. They didn't have the technology. So that's at the time. We'll get there.
They didn't have the technology to say who was the last person they were going to see. Okay, that dude that likes to cuddle with deer in the bathtub. And also works at the taxidermy shop. I
don't think they could determine if the blood was human or animal.
Interesting.
So, it's a taxidermy shop, I don't know. But we know...
Just taste it. See if it has that gamey taste or not.
This is probably why people thought of him as the inspiration behind the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, that's so lame. It's so detached.
Yeah. But we know the big thing that inspired it was Ed Gein, which we've already done a topic on. You guys can go back and listen to it if you haven't already.
Which episode is that, Robin?
Don't know. I didn't check, but I've covered it.
That would be episode 61. I remember totally off the top of my head, and this was not edited whatsoever.
Okay, so you guys can go ahead and go back and listen to that if you haven't already.
That's one of our very few videos, or I should say episodes, that have been demonetized on YouTube.
Oh, because of...
the gore.
Yeah, who he was as a person. I think there's another one about some Russian dude that got demonetized. Yep. Anyway, Kleasen was arrested near Austin. Now, some people...
He didn't go far.
Now, some people say they found body parts, but it's few and far between that I've seen any article actually mention that. So I don't know how much of that is actually true, that they found any body parts. I read an article by Mormons Today that actually referred to the victims as elders. So I'm not sure
Elders at 20 and 19?
Yeah.
No fucking way.
I don't know what the hierarchy is in the church, so I don't know. But they sound important if they're called elders. I don't know if you get
elders
to a... Maybe
you're called high up.
Maybe you're called an elder if you go on your missions. And once you finish your missions and come back, then you're called an elder.
I will say this. I am not as well versed in the hierarchy of the
Mormon
Church
lore.
of Latter-day Saints. Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints? I can't remember what they're called. LDS. I don't know their rankings. The closest I've ever gotten to is watching Orgasmo. So...
What the heck?
It's just... Go look it up. It's a wonderful movie.
Is that the one with Jake Gyllenhaal?
No. I don't know which one you're
Spider-Man?
thinking of.
Spider-Man?
No, it's
Tobey Maguire?
No, it's the South Park guys. It's
Oh,
Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Oh, okay.
He plays a Mormon missionary who just happens to knock on the door of a porn director.
What the heck?
And he just finds himself making pornography films. And he's the character known as Orgasmo. And that's as much as I'll say. Watch the movie. It's filled with notable cameos from actual porn stars.
Oh, my God.
And is absolutely hilarious. And if you ever find it and are able to watch it with director's commentary. Because it's fucking hilarious.
Okay, really side tangent here. At work, we're trying to figure out what we want to all dress up as for Halloween.
Do Orgasmo?
No, you're stupid. We're doing Adam Sandler movies.
That's kind of fun. What are you going to be?
I want to be someone from Little Nicky.
Yeah, you would. You would be someone from Little Nicky.
I gotta be from the
No,
Deep
you just
South.
have to be Nicky from Little Nicky because you say that Deep South line constantly.
What is the other one he always says? Release the evil.
God, you're terrible. He eventually says release the good, I'm pretty sure.
Get in the flask.
What you should do is just walk around eating Popeye's
like a bucket
chicken.
of Popeyes?
Like,
oh,
Popeyes
man, that'd be
awesome.
so good. Oh, that'd be so fun. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. This doesn't
You're not
matter.
even going to ask me what Adam Sandler character
Okay, what
I would
Adam
be?
Sandler character would you be?
It's a great question. I should have thought about it before I asked you why you didn't ask me.
You would be...
No.
You would be Happy Madison. Not Happy Madison.
Is Happy Madison?
That's
the name
his
of his
company.
production company.
Happy Gilmore.
I can see it attitude-wise, not golfing talent-wise, though. I would like to think of myself as Robbie Hart from Wedding Singer, but
Aw.
I can't sing that well. I'm not that talented.
No, you're that new movie he was in, the Halloween one.
No, fuck off. Anything after Big Daddy, you can go straight to hell.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so many of his movies are so stinking good. Anyway, this guy gets arrested, okay? The trial, it goes quick. How could anyone possibly wiggle their way out of that one? Like, people knew these guys were going to show up at his house for dinner, and then authorities show up and they find a name tag,
with a bullet hole through it.
Yeah, and blood on it. His watch with blood on it.
It's like, that was here when I moved in.
How do you get away with it? So he tries to use some letters written to a Mormon elder in San Antonio that stated he'd been mistreated by Mormon church officials as evidence. I don't know how. I mean, it could have probably been like, they're trying to set me up. They don't like me, all this stuff. I don't think that's enough, though, to kill two people. Like, the Mormon church doesn't like me, so I killed them. It just seems a bit much.
Wait, so he was using it as self-defense and not as, hey, they're trying to frame me for
No, I have no idea. I had to subscribe to a law website if I wanted to read the
I have signed up for so many fucking free trials just doing research for this show.
So, you know what we need? We need an assistant to do the research.
No, dude. The research is what makes the script sound like they're in our voice.
They are in our voice. That's why it sounds like shit.
Wow.
Anyway.
Speak for yourself. I kicked ass on my topic last episode.
I think my topic's going okay. It's midnight. We are Sleepy City, okay? So.
Sleepy City. Population us.
I don't think, the church not liking you is reason enough to kill people. I just don't think so. And during the trial, it was alleged that he dismembered both victims and buried their remains. A lot is stacked against him, too, That's a really bad, violent crime.
So they don't have the bodies.
No, they have no bodies.
Do they have... Okay, so if you don't have the bodies, you don't know how they died. If you don't know how they died, you technically don't have a murder weapon then.
They have the bandsaw.
Okay, you just said they couldn't figure out whether or not it was animal or human.
But they probably use it as evidence, like, hey, there was blood and flesh and stuff on this.
I'm just saying, if I'm the defense attorney, I grew up with a lot of lawyers. My mom was a court reporter for like 30 years. Looking at the facts of the case is not what you know. It's what you can prove. I'm pretty sure I could get this guy off.
They literally had...
I should clarify. I'm pretty sure I could get this guy acquitted. I could probably jerk him off and do pretty well, too.
Stop it!
But what I meant to say was, this is not a slam dunk case.
But his name tag was literally in his trailer.
Yeah, that's incriminating, but that's not confirmation of murder.
Okay, what about the bloody watch, too?
You didn't say anything about a fucking bloody watch.
I fucking did.
I'm tired. You didn't say it at least 3 times for me to remember.
Oh my god. Anyway, they found the dude's watch. They found his name tag. It doesn't matter. Either way, he gets convicted, okay? It doesn't matter what you say.
What a flimsy fucking conviction.
He was convicted and sentenced to death, the electric chair to be exact. It only took the jury 20 minutes to decide on the penalty. He was in prison for 2 years on death row in Texas when in 1977, an appeals court overturns his conviction.
I told you it was a flimsy conviction.
That's not even it. They overturned it on the basis that it was an illegal search of his property. They didn't have a warrant. So and then the only thing they found
and the only thing they found was a name tag that had some blood on it.
Yep, so all the evidence that they found is illegal and inadmissible.
Because as soon as you make that inadmissible, the only thing that they have is he's fucking creepy. Like, that's all they have going for them.
They never retried him and he was released.
Get the fuck out of here.
After he was released, he moves to New York, where he was later imprisoned on assault charges. Which is not a surprise. Like, really? Are you surprised that he gets arrested?
Violent guy, for sure.
He lives in Buffalo, New York for a while until people start picking up on who he was. His story was on the news every night. He was living in a charity mission at the time. So like a shelter of sorts, right? And the only people he interacted with were those other people that were living there and so people that were living there, he would see them during church services and before they had meals. And they had to post police near this mission for his protection.
Wow.
Because
people know who he is.
Yeah, people know who he is. So at this point, it's kind of crazy to me that he's not in jail. Like, I get it. He got off on a technicality, but he was convicted of murder, despite the fact that, okay, the evidence may be inadmissible in court because of a technicality, but it is real evidence that got him convicted.
I'm so intrigued by this fucking murder trial. I want to learn more about it.
Are you going to look it up?
Not right now.
You're going to subscribe to that law
Fuck
website?
no.
1990, he moves to Lincolnshire, England, and he gets...
This dude hops the pond.
So he gets married. He marries a local, Marie Longley, and she is a policeman's widow.
Wow.
Which is ironic. You know, just how? And they were pen pals while he was in jail. So
she knows about his past. He didn't just go over there and just make some shit like, my name's Jefferson.
No. Let me get there.
Oh, she's a groupie.
No, let me get there.
Damn it.
So they marry in 4 months. Within 4 months, they're married. I don't know how much really she knew about him prior to getting this far in their relationship. They've only been together for 4 months. But some articles I read stated that he told her he was a prison teacher and not an inmate. So he was at the prison as an inmate at the time, but he was like, no, I teach here, you know? And she, I don't know how, believes him. That's what he's there for.
I mean, it's not like she can run a background check on him. She just has to decide whether or not she believes this guy.
This is an era before social media, before readily available news on the internet.
Before the internet?
No, well.
Pretty much.
1990. Internet already existed.
Oh, this is 1990. I thought this was 1977 still. My bad.
Yeah, no, 1990. The internet already exists, but like, you don't have things readily available yet. It's baby stages, you know?
It's those fucking noises every time you try and connect.
If you guys have not ever heard dial-up...
If you didn't just hear the noise in your head when I said that, you are young, and I hate you.
When somebody picked up the phone, though, bro, the worst.
You just knew it. You knew it immediately, like, why isn't it fucking loading? I have half a tit. What the fuck? Who picked up the phone?
It could totally be possible she had no idea. Or maybe she knew everything and accepted him as he was. I don't know. Maybe she said or told everyone, I had no idea that he was like this. But we don't know. We don't know what the truth is, right? While living there, he made attempts to integrate with the locals. All the while, he was amassing a huge gun collection. Because that's his thing, guns and hunting, right? And he was joining local gun and hunting clubs. He was able to acquire a gun permit and even a license to deal guns himself.
Wow. Which
is crazy to me. Supposedly, Kleasen was advising police on ammunition issues at one point. Not sure how involved he really was in the situations, but I think that's just chaos, right? It was so much like...
He's like, here, these are the bullets you want if you want to shoot through a name tag.
No,
trust me.
No. All of this was a little much, and it became so suspicious that the firearms license officer that issued license for these guns and things like that was getting really sus. So you remember when I told you that he would pretend to be ex-CIA or ex-military, things like that?
I remember.
This guy was not falling for it. He did his job and he looked into it, especially after Kleasen threatened a local man with a shotgun. He was like, no, something's not fitting here. It's a little bit weird, maybe a little bit more than a little bit weird. But
this guy's recognizing the giant red flag surrounding this man.
Yeah, so he finds out that according to U.S. military officials he had contacted, he never served. Kleasen had never served in the military. He took what he found out to the police, who then performed a thorough background check on Kleasen. And the background check led back to his original murder conviction. And it's something he left out of his residency application. So they're like, this is a big red flag here, you know? He had some gun law violations under his belt as well. And those gun violations are actually what led him to get arrested in the UK again.
Wow.
He was given a 3-year sentence for illegal munitions and firearms in his possession.
This fucking guy gonna serve more time for illegal firearms in his possession than he did for murder?
Let's see. Let's see what happens, okay?
Okay.
Stay with me here.
Oh, I am right here.
So they confiscated 44 guns, Lewis Hamilton, and they confiscated 44 guns when they searched his property, including a submachine gun. Don't know how he got that, but he had that in his collection of guns. When his wife found out about his crimes, he threatened to kill her if she tried to leave him. She stayed for close to a decade.
What the fuck?
Until she was able to come up with an escape plan with her friend. People eventually, when it worked, you know, they got this plan up and running and she was running. People thought she was missing. People thought she was a missing person for a while. And they even thought maybe he'd killed her.
Right.
Until they found out she'd just run away while they were investigating these gun law violations. And she alleges that she had no idea that he had previously spent years on death row.
How would she know? Like, if the authorities didn't know and he was granted, you know, his citizenship or whatever he was granted so that he could go there, and they didn't know, you can't expect her to have figured it out on her own without the ability to just do in-depth background check and research, you know?
Yeah. I just think it's really nice to know that she got out of there safely.
Yeah.
And it turns out she was the one who tipped off the police on all the illegal stuff that was in their house.
She was probably like, what the hell are you doing? We're getting in trouble for this if we get caught. And what a poor representation of what an American would be. This gun-toting person that likes to threaten and murder people. I wonder why people think of us the way they do across the pond.
They eventually got divorced.
4 wives.
4 divorces. Then came the extradition process to get him back to Texas when new evidence was found thanks to the development of new forensic tools. So, using DNA analysis, they were able to match Darley's DNA to blood found near his residence. And before the extradition process can be completed, he died. This guy died in Belmarsh Prison on April 21st, 2003.
So he died in jail.
He died in jail in the UK before they could bring him back. Before the gun violation. Before they could bring him back to the US. He died due to heart failure at the age of 68. He had already been wheelchair bound at this point. I sent you a picture. That's what he looked like when he passed, you know.
Wait, like that age, right?
That age.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Gotcha. Just clarifying.
But he was in declining health, so I don't know how much longer he would have had or if he would have lasted through getting sent back to the U.S., getting tried again, all of that. Maybe he was just like, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm out, you know? Maybe
just
he
like,
just
bleh.
Gave up.
Flip the switch, turn it off.
Yeah. So who knows?
I mean, this guy got away with it for a substantial portion of his life.
Yeah.
So only spent 2 years in prison for the murder of 2 people, which they found evidence of once DNA evidence showed up.
I think it's fascinating that there were still people that were like, we're going to get this guy.
Oh, yeah.
And once technology came out, they were like, we're going to retest. We're going to figure this out.
I'm sure once the government reached out, the English government reached out to do the background check and mentioned this person is in our country and lied about it. Then it brought it back to the surface. They said, hey, what evidence do we still have on this? Can we use any current techniques to check and see what's going on? And then they noticed, oh, yeah, we absolutely can. Let's get this guy back in fucking jail, back in the States. And he just checked out early so that he wouldn't have to face up to his consequences.
Yeah.
This guy's a monster.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, this guy, I mean, if he did kill these 2 missionaries, it's just, that's cold-blooded, dude. Like,
Didn't he invite them too? He invited them over for some fucking venison and then killed them.
Yep.
What a fucking asshole.
Why would you kill? It's just like, you invited them over. You should share with them, a nice meal and let them be on their way. I don't get it. But
he had problems, obviously.
Something must have happened. There must have been some type of altercation that escalated to that point.
I think this was just cold-blooded murder. I think he was upset that he wasn't rising through the ranks of this church. He felt slighted, and he decided that he was going to kill 2 people that represented the church to him because he thought he could get away with it, and eventually did, even though he was convicted for it to start.
Yeah.
One thing I always wonder about, and we've mentioned it before too, is with people like him, I just want to know how many people he actually killed. There's no way to really know the answer because in a lot of cases, people will posit that serial killers that have a more substantial number of kills that are confirmed probably had way more that just never got discovered. And then on top of that, serial killers can sometimes confess to crimes that weren't theirs for the notoriety.
Yeah.
So you never know what their number actually was.
I don't think this guy is a serial killer. I don't think he's the type of...
Oh, no, I'm not saying that he was, but I wonder how many people that he killed in his lifetime because I don't think it was just these 2.
I think when it came to violence, he was just outright violent. And if he was going to do something, you would know about it. Like when he threatened that dude with a gun. And everybody was like, dude, he threatened this guy with a shotgun.
He got upset in a waiting room and came in and started shooting.
Exactly. And
at 16, and he smacked his mom.
I think that is the type of person he was. I don't think he would have killed a lot of people and not had anything come of it.
I think because it was so long ago that he probably didn't kill after his conviction unless it was something that he somehow plotted and got away with. I wonder between 16-year-old slaps his mom in a hospital waiting room and him getting convicted if there were other incidents because he just invited them over and killed them, It wasn't something where there was, I'm going to lure them out to the woods and do all these other things. It seems like he had the thought in his head, I can just get them to come here and I'm going to kill them, which to me makes it sound like maybe he's done that shit before. But it's always crazy to think about when you talk about a monster like this guy was. Do you think that it's only 2 people that he actually killed or more?
I want to believe he didn't kill more people because it would be incredibly sad that we have no idea about it,
Yeah.
But I think he was outwardly just straight up violent and we would know. That's just me.
All right. I'll trust you. It's a good topic.
There's nothing to trust me on. It's just like maybe
I'll trust
he did,
your
maybe
expert
he didn't.
opinion. I'm allowed to
I don't
do
have
that.
an expert opinion.
I mean, you're the expert on this guy. Between the 2 of us, you're the expert on this guy. Everything I know about him, I know from you.
Everything you know from him, I know. So that's
okay.
We're equally knowledgeable.
Cool. I'll stop trying to compliment you.
But yeah, that is the story of Robert Kleasen.
Nice. Not nice. I mean, he was horrible, but good topic.
Thanks.
Right on. I think that's everything we have for this episode. If you have any stories you would like to share with us, it doesn't have to be about this particular monster of a human being. It could be anything supernatural, because we do stuff like that. Spiritual, coincidental,
aliens,
true crime, extraterrestrial. We always love to hear it. And you can send those stories to storytime@scaryish.com. Or you can also go to our website, which is scaryish.com, and click on Contact Us, fill out that form. It comes directly to us. Or hit us up on our social medias. Facebook is facebook.com/scarishpodcast. Twitter is @scarishpod, and Instagram is @scarishpodcast. Robin, for folks who would like to donate to us, how can they do so?
You can go to patreon.com/scaryish podcast, and those are monthly donations with tiers starting at $1. You can also go to ko-fi.com/scaryish podcast, and those are one-time donations, and we really couldn't be here without everybody's help. Like, really.
It really, really, really helps, especially when like annual fees come due, because they can be kind of hefty. But the Patreon helps us get through month to month, and it does have us prepared for things like that when they come through. So thank you to everyone who supports us, whether it's financially or just by listening to the episode, talking about it to a friend, any of that. It means the world to us. It really does. And thank you one last time. But that is everything we have for this episode. So, Robin, why don't you go ahead and sign us out?
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Good. Bye.